I hate gray sweatpants.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Triple V. I'm your host, Ronnie. And this is a little bit of a different one. I guess, Brenton likes to say we do things a little bit differently, but I am outside and I'm sitting here with
Gretchen Catherwood of Darkhorse Lodge. Our son, Alec, he was a Lance Corporal in the Marine Corps. He was served with the 3-5 Darkhorse unit, hence the name Darkhorse Lodge. They deployed in September of 2010, and on October 14th, he was killed in action. We chose combat veterans because they are in a unique position to understand what the other one has gone through. Just give them a place to kind of, take a deep breath and decompress a little bit.
If you're a combat veteran, come to Darkhorse Lodge and let us spoil you. Let us cook some good food for you. Let us take you out on a boat and just be.
We are located in Springville, Tennessee, which is far west Tennessee, directly south of Paducah, Kentucky, Murray, Kentucky, that kind of area.
It's fun to say Paducah.
Paducah. It's a fun name. Not as fun as Puryear. Or per year.
You need to have you have to have the accent in order to say that.
100%.
I have a friend that lives in Murfreesboro.
Murfreesboro.
Right? That you cannot say that without an accent. I tried for a long time. I was like Murfree.
No. It's Murfreesboro.
Murfreesboro. I was like, there we go. That's it. That's all I had to do.
Right.
He was looking at me like, how long did it take you to work on that? I was like, the entire drive here.
Just like Milan down here is not Milan like it is in Italy. It's Milan.
Oh,
Milan.
That's what Milan
is.
And
Buchanan is not Buchanan, it's Buckhannon.
Buckhannon.
So
when I was in New Orleans, it blew my mind. They just called Nolans.
Nolans, that's right.
It's just one word. I was like, oh,
Nolans.
Cool.
That's how you know when you know what you're talking about when you say Nolans instead of New Orleans.
Mm-hmm.
I love New Orleans.
There's certain things you can say that will help you get away with certain things, and other things you say that's going to make everything more expensive.
Sort of like when you call normal Illinois Chicago.
Oh,
kind of like that.
Okay. I was in Normal, Illinois, and I was calling
Illinois. No S.
No S. Illinois. The S is silent.
Illinois.
I'm not from the Midwest.
Clearly.
I like your guys' deep fried food though. It is fantastic. But I've been telling everyone I was doing something in Chicago because in my mind it's right up the street.
No.
However, how far is it?
3 hours.
It's like 3 hours. That's normal for me.
No, normal.
Normal. There you go. That's why they call it normal.
That's
it's
right.
normal
That's
for
right.
people to think it's Chicago. Now, this is a veteran podcast. We always talk to people who are there, but in this case, it's not you're not a veteran yourself.
I am not.
You are not, but I do know you have a lot of lineage of military history, right?
Mm-hmm.
And your last name is very important to me because of my relation to it. Would you like to explain to everyone?
So I come from a long line of military. My grandfather was Navy, World War I. My uncle was World War II Navy. My dad was Korea Army. And then my husband was in Desert Storm with the Army. My brother did 4 years in the Army. My other brother did 20 years with the Air Force. But then my son served with the Marine Corps in Afghanistan. And he was there. They left September 26th, 2010. And October 14th, he was killed in action. And so he was with the 3-5 Darkhorse unit. Their call sign is Darkhorse out of Camp Pendleton. And altogether we lost 25 Marines. So that's the inspiration behind Darkhorse Lodge.
That's why it's really important to me. I was there in the deployment with him. I didn't know him personally, but yeah, I still remember. We know every name. Every name. Mm-hmm. Everyone was told, and I was hearing it on the radio. It was in October. Mm-hmm. Yes.
October 14th, 2010. Yeah.
You never forget the dates.
No. That was a particularly hellish few days because we lost 9. I mean, 4, 3. It was just really, really quick. One after the other, 4 after 3 after 2. It was just insane. The first few weeks of that deployment, were crazy. It was just crazy. And so, since we lost 25 Marines altogether, that's why we have 25 bedrooms here at Darkhorse Lodge.
Absolutely. And what led to the Darkhorse Lodge officially? Like, was this the dream overall to have this open up? What was the inspiration?
It wasn't the dream until we went to the remembrance ceremony on Camp Pendleton, which I'm sure you were there.
I was there.
So each one of the 25 fallen had somebody who spoke for them. So in Alec's case, it was his best friend, Colt Cheek. Mm-hmm. And every single one of these young men who were killed, it was interesting because at least 24 of the 25 they were all described almost identically. You know what I mean? Their personality traits and who they were and what they stood for and everything. The people who represented them said very much the same things on that helicopter pad.
Yeah.
And so we had the remembrance ceremony, and 25 of those battlefield crosses were lined up, and you could hear the dog tags, jingling in the breeze in the background. It was really incredible. But then after that was when I spoke to the corpsman who tried to save Alec and could not, and then was on his way to help Joey, I believe, Lopez. And then the corpsman stepped on an IED and lost both his legs.
Mm-hmm.
So I was giving him a hug and looking into his eyes and thanking him for being there for my son when I couldn't be. And I thought, the look in his eyes was so, so intense. And I kept seeing that same look over and over and over that day in the eyes of so many of you guys, And then I remember when Kirk came home from Saudi Arabia during Desert Storm, he had a kind of similar look. And I knew that there were so many things he couldn't talk to me about. And that was when I said to him, maybe we should do something to help these guys. And he said, no, that's more than we can do.
He said no.
Yeah, well, and we were living in Illinois at the time. And then we moved down here to Tennessee, and my daughter and I attended the dedication of the monument over there on Camp Pendleton where General Kelly spoke.
Yeah.
And we went to dinner with some of the boys after. And that was when they were talking in the parking lot. And that was the first time a lot of them had been together since the remembrance ceremony. And they kind of forgot that we were even there, and we just kind of backed up. And one of them said to the others, this is the first time I've been able to talk about that day, meaning the day that Alec and Joey died. Then I said, okay, that's it. On the plane on the way home, I said to my daughter, I'm doing this with or without Dad. I'm doing this, and came back to Tennessee. And he said, really, we came down here to retire, to work less, not work more. And I said, yeah, but what if Alec came home? Who would have done something like this for him? And he said, okay. And so he jumped in with both feet, and it's been pretty much gangbusters ever since.
Oh, that's pretty intense. I know that's, it's different when you come back, and you don't really realize it until years later, and like all the space in between, right? Mm-hmm. It's actually it's funny that you say that he said no and it still happened. There's somebody back at home. I think it's an Armenian family, but we were talking and he was bragging about his wife, right? And he said, it's so funny. He was looking at me. He was like, hey. I may be the head of the household as a man, but the wife is the neck. And wherever the neck turns, the head has to as well. I was like, that is probably one of the wisest things I've ever heard. So.
Well, yeah, and it's funny because so many of the people who have come to work here, or some of the contractors that we have interviewed, Kirk's he was a sheriff's deputy, and now he's a Benton County police officer in the county over. Plus, he built our house by himself for 4 years, so he didn't have as much of the hands-on kind of stuff here, as I did. And so many of these people, I would interview them, and I would ask them a question and have them call me back, and they would call Kirk the next day. And Kirk's like, what are you calling me for? And they're like, well, you're the guy. And Kirk's like, no, she's my boss. So if she's my boss, she's definitely going to be your boss. Mm-hmm. And if you can't work for a woman, then we don't want you here. And so where we came from, I hired the roofer. The roofer came, I shook his hand, I did the deal, and I wrote him the check, and everybody was happy. Because Kirk drove trucks, so he was never home. But when we came down here, it was a whole different atmosphere. A woman in business still in 2025 is kind of a little bit unusual, I guess.
It's a different kind of financial situation too. It's more expensive in Illinois, so you can have the traditional household that's over here. So it's not as normal. Ironic again. That word's going to come up a lot.
Yeah, it is.
It's not as
you.
Usual. Yeah, it is going to haunt me for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
It's not as practical, I should say, for both people to be working. Most of the country has to, but
almost everybody I know has to.
If the closer you are to the ocean, like I was telling our cameraman Daniel, as the closer you get to the ocean, more expensive it gets. Doesn't matter which one it is, right? Or any body of water. Up in Chicago, in Detroit, it's not the cheapest. But
No.
whenever you get closer to there, it gets more expensive. It makes more sense for both parties to be working.
Well, I think the mindset is a little bit different.
That
you know,
as
the
well.
South, and I'm not used to being in the South. I grew up in the North, and I, lived
It
most
is
of my
different
life in the
here.
North, and so the mindset is a little bit different.
Mm-hmm.
And that's fine. That no one way is right and no one way is wrong necessarily. But when I'm the one doing the business and they won't take me seriously because I'm a woman, no, I don't want you
That's
here.
not flying.
I don't want you here, because if you can't listen to me and I'm the one paying your salary,
Mm-hmm.
then no.
Mm-hmm.
So when he would very quickly say, no, mm-mm. She's the one that does the hiring. She's the one that does the firing. She's the one that writes the checks. So yeah, if you can't work for her, then we'll find somebody who can.
And honestly, you don't want to work with somebody that's not 100% in with you anyway.
No.
If it's not completely in,
yeah,
then it's gonna then you're gonna have to question their work. You're gonna have to question their dedication.
Right.
Yeah. So
right. And that said, we've had some incredible contractors. The guy who did the foundations, he did all the block work.
Mm-hmm.
He's a Vietnam Air Force vet. And it was really super cool because his son works for him. And we had a young OIF veteran who had some real issues PTSD wise and couldn't even go to Walmart. He would take his wife, she would go in the store, he would sit in the truck. So when we started building this, she called and she goes, is there something my husband can do to help you? He just needs to be involved in something. So I talked to our contractor, the block layer, and I said, listen, I've got this young veteran who wants to help. Can he help? And he's like, listen, I don't want to babysit this kid. I don't want, you know what I mean? And he goes, fine, just have him show up. Well, this kid, I call him a kid, but he's, probably 40 now. But he showed up. He was the first one here every single day. He was the last one here every single night. And it started where the guys who were doing the work were laughing and joking, and he would kind of stand back, and listen to them. And the next thing you know, he's laughing at their jokes.
I've been in that position.
Next thing you know, he's telling the jokes. And so when we went to the final paycheck, his son, the contractor's son, came to me and he goes, listen, he goes, this is really interesting because I heard my dad tell this young guy stories I've never heard my whole life. Mm-hmm. And so his dad came to get his final check and he goes, I want to tell you, he goes, remember I gave you grief about this kid coming to work for me and I didn't want to babysit him and blah, blah, blah. He goes, I finally thought, okay, fine, I'll help this kid. He goes, what I didn't realize was that he was going to help me. Oh, man. And we're crying. But I mean, it was, and so I'm thinking, wow, is this helping already? It was just the foundations of the buildings. And here we had a Vietnam Air Force veteran and an OIF Army veteran connecting on a level that neither one of them had anticipated. Like, okay, it's working already, and we haven't even gotten a stick of lumber on it yet.
So like the bones were there, not just physically, but also like kind of metaphorically and spiritually. And so
100%.
You can see where it was at. And that also means like the lodge is not just for people who served and sang in Afghanistan during that time. No. It's for
all combat vets, all branches,
all branches, all combat vets, and just because there's something different about being a combat vet, because only 3% of us actually even go into combat. That's what's so wild. Like I told you earlier, I went to an art college to go to culinary school. So that's a fun tidbit of trivia. But one of the biggest things that I used to hear all the time is why would I join the military, is if like I just wanted to go kill things, because that's the idea when you do that, right? And then everyone thinks that if you join the military, you've probably gone to war, because that's like one of the first questions you get asked from people. It's like, oh, did you kill anybody? Doesn't matter even if they know where you deployed or not.
And sometimes they say, did you get to kill anybody?
I haven't heard that one yet.
It's my gosh, I've heard that one.
I haven't heard that one.
Bad.
That would be an interesting conversation, but it's a weird perspective. Everyone thinks that 100%. If you're in the military that you're killing
bloodthirsty
things. Yeah, especially being like me and your son, we're Marines, right?
That's
everyone knows Marines. Like no one, like Marines show up, people are just like, we're fucked.
That's right.
And it's still, even in the Marine Corps, which is the smallest branch of the military, it's still only
pretty mighty.
Very few of us actually get to go to combat.
Mm-hmm.
Very few of us actually go into a combat zone. I volunteered to go to a combat zone.
Right.
Which that also is very unusual, but it was just, a necessity for my job. And they asked if anyone wanted to go, and if they did want to go, they'd be the first one to go out. And so I did. And that's different, right? And I could have ended up being like half my other class going to Lejeune, working in some kind of administrative role, just trying to figure out how to do comms that way. What for, like RD or something like that. Or definitely like behind in the fob, being a fobbit, which is like a hobbit, but in the fob, not really doing nothing against them,
because it takes everybody.
It does, because if I'm on the ground, I've called RD.
Yeah,
let me tell you something. If the radio operator couldn't talk on the other side, I would have died.
100%.
So
yeah, you need those people.
Yeah, you need people on the other side, because everyone's important. It doesn't matter.
Every job is important.
It doesn't matter if you're the guy. Everyone's supporting the infantry. That's what everyone realized. That small percentage is supported by the 97% of people who are not in the combat zone. Right. That way they can focus on their job, which is why I like to patrol all the time, because as a radio operator, if I'm focusing on the radio and everyone else is focusing on the actual combat as much as possible, which doesn't mean any of us don't get to, but they don't have to worry about calling up the 9 line. They don't have to call you about it. As long as I don't get shot, we're good. Right? And so that means they could focus on them, which means we all get to go home more than likely. And that's what's important about the support roles as well. Now, this place is available, and I know that you guys have been operating since 2020.
2 years. Yeah, 2023 was our grand opening.
Oh. The mic fell.
Totally random.
Okay.
Alex saying, "You know what, Mom? Shut the hell up. You've spoken enough. You're done now."
It's also funny that you mentioned, I guess we're going to go back to that. Usually all the guys who felt like, it sounded like they all were the same. And I found that...
it was incredible.
3-5, I keep hearing we're a different kind. It's like we all came from like the same tree. It doesn't matter where we came from and all that. Yeah. We talk and we are coming from different areas, but
there's a recognition.
There's something there when it comes to being a Darkhorse Marine. And my team can admit that, because they've met a few of them. They're just like, oh, you guys are all kind of the same. Like y'all do different things. Y'all have different aspirations, but you have like this same underlining foundation, which is different. And then I had breakfast with a couple of my seniors a few months ago, and I think it was San Clemente. And he said it was weird. I went to other units for a while. And he's like, it's not the same there. It doesn't matter whether it was like in the 6th Marines or 7th Marines. It's like the camaraderie and the brotherhood is not the same in other places. And
that said, though, what we've been super happy about here, which was kind of our goal from the beginning, is that we're getting people who come here at the same time, who were in different wars, different branches, different ages, different generations, and they're getting along so beautifully. And it's so flippin' cool to have a Vietnam vet here with an OEF vet here with Desert Storm, and they're all getting along as if they've known each other their whole life. So that is like really, really cool to have the older guys help some of these younger guys navigate some of the waters that they've been doing for decades, and these guys are just now wading into. You know what I mean? So it's super cool. So not just is it a reunion kind of place, though we do host people who serve together. It's super cool to have guys who've never met before come together and realize, man, there's more that we have in common than what separates us. You know what I mean? Even though we're in different branches, and they love to give each other crap.
Of course. I imagine you've heard some of the craziest stories with these people.
It's really kind of fun.
It's like it's not like, and the funny thing is we don't compete to see who's cool. The only people who ever compete are those support roles. They're like, I'm this cool for this reason. But like combat guys, I don't care.
And the cool thing is too, is the different branches can give each other a whole bunch of crap, but don't anybody give them crap in front of anybody else.
Yeah.
Because we're gonna harm these people verbally, but you mess with us, we're gonna harm you physically for messing with somebody that we care about. So it's really cool to know that everybody has each other's back, even though there's some really good natured and sometimes not so good natured ribbing, between the branches.
Yeah, and there's like it's like broken recognizes broken, and like unfortunately I have to admit, like as combat veterans, we're not 100% here all the time.
But not broken,
but healing. We're working on it, and we're different, right? We are
Bench,
shaped.
Maybe.
It's like my nose
bent.
is broken, right? And it's just readjusted. It's not the same. It's just distinguished.
It's just different. That's right. It's distinguished. I'm going to
start saying that combat veterans are distinguished.
Distinguished.
Copyrighted.
That's right. That's right.
That's good. How do you get the word out about this place? Because I
So
know it's
yeah,
difficult.
it is difficult. So far, it's been word of mouth. We'll probably start within the next, maybe over the winter. Hopefully, get to different posts. Like Fort Campbell's right around the corner, hour and 15 from here. Maybe get to different SOS offices and SATO offices, and just say, listen, can you put these brochures out? You know what I mean? Maybe go to the VA. We've got a huge VA hospital in Nashville, right outside of the oh my goodness gracious, Vanderbilt University Hospital is right there. So they're pretty much combined. So we have a whole lot of people that go to Vanderbilt. Besides that, things like this, podcasts, radio interviews, TV show. You know, we had the AP here right when the drawdown to Afghanistan was happening. And naturally it took a back seat to that. However, we got people calling us from Austria. One woman saw us on TV in Austria in German, which was pretty cool. And then, yeah, we were on the front page of the Chicago Trib and the LA Times and the Denver Post and all these different newspapers just from Associated Press being out here, which was pretty cool. But besides that, it's a lot of word of mouth. We're getting donations of $3 up to, $10,000. Which are fewer and farther between than the $3 ones. But the $3 ones, when you add enough of those together, they become a $10,000 one.
It does, yeah.
And every penny counts.
Every penny counts, yeah. Especially with this, because pretty much everything here has been donated.
100% of everything here has either the item been donated or the money to purchase the things have been. 100% of this is donated.
Yeah, the chairs I'm sitting in are made by Amish guys.
For sure. Yep.
That's not a lie.
No, Amish guy in Kentucky built these. A woman who owns a CrossFit Serenity, actually, in Hopkinsville, Kentucky. She and her siblings, rather than give each other Christmas gifts, one year commissioned an Amish man to make these.
How many chairs do you make?
10.
10? So it took him 15 minutes.
15 minutes to make 10 chairs. Yeah.
Just throw it out there.
So, and we're learning.
Hard. Yeah.
We're learning as we go. This pavilion that we're sitting in, it's a workout pavilion. We've got a cold plunge and a sauna and a Smith machine and a heavy bag and a speed bag.
I love this little gym. It's all outside. It's so cool. That's where we're sitting right now. You can't see the gym equipment. Probably a little bit, but this is awesome. And the sauna over here, it's made of cedar. It smells fantastic. Smells really good. And then you got the cold plunge, so you can torture yourself.
You can torture yourself and then warm up after.
Yeah.
So then next year, we're really hoping to have a gathering center.
And that's going to be great because...
So if we get more people here at one time, they can shoot pool and play poker and watch TV on the big screen and that kind of stuff. Just have one big open room.
Yeah. And it's just combat veterans getting together and just actually doing things together.
Maybe.
Yoga? You can do yoga.
Know.
I like
guys
yoga.
do yoga.
They do yoga. I do yoga. If I don't, this leg doesn't bend like this.
See, that's what I'm saying. So
you have to stretch. You have to take care of yourself. And the beautiful thing about this is it's because there are retreats out there that kind of put pressure on you to do things, right? Which it kind of defeats the purpose of retreat in general.
100%.
Yeah, of course you have your type A personalities that probably really like the structure so they don't have to think about anything. That's why they want it, is so they don't have to think about it. They know I'm going here.
That's right.
It's already set up. But the beautiful thing about this is you're leaving the retreat to be their retreat. And that's, how would you explain that?
So they come and we take them fishing on Kentucky Lake. We have 2 pontoon boats, and we really encourage people after breakfast in the morning, they grab their gear and they go out on the boats. And even if they don't fish, even if they just hang out on the boats and sometimes take a nap, we have people who take naps on the boats. We have a couple of people that stayed back and worked on our coloring books. We had some irreverent. I'm going to say that right books. One day. And we had people who stayed back and read books. We had people who watched movies. But most of the time, they just want to go out on the lake and just kind of take it in. And then they come back and we throw axes and we do cornhole and, horseshoes and all sorts of stuff. Whatever. If they want to walk through the woods, they walk through the woods.
I did that this morning.
So there's nothing, no structure.
There's no structure, and it's a safe place to be.
It's a safe place.
There's nothing for a long ways, and it's beautiful. You pull up. There's all these trees. Right now, they don't have any leaves or anything like that.
No, the leaves have fallen.
They have fallen, but it's going to be gorgeous. And how long is your season?
We go from April or May, depending on. April's tough because it's really rainy. So we were thinking about doing May, although now we have a group of women who are coming in April. So we're not going to do May. We're doing April through October.
You're going to need help cooking for April?
Yes. Yes.
I had a feeling.
Yes.
So you guys might see me cooking.
So Mr. Culinary School will maybe come help cook for us.
Yeah, it'll be
It'd
fun.
be awesome. Yeah, we're thinking 15 to 20 women.
15 to 20 women. All right.
Yep.
Cool. So with that, we're going to go ahead and take a break to talk about some other stuff. And
this segment is brought to you by Spec Ops Water. Thank you so much for sponsoring this episode. So Spec Ops Water is built by the movers and shakers of the industry. It's military, first responders, police, and every single can, 25 cents, is donated to first responders and veteran nonprofits that are vetted and about the cause. So thank you again to Spec Ops Water. We really appreciate you. Cheers.
Cheers.
And we're back. All right. We actually were having a fun conversation about drinking habits of Marines.
Disgusting things.
Disgusting things. I've never tasted alcohol, so apparently there's
You've
a
never
special.
tasted it at all.
I've never tasted alcohol.
Really?
Yeah. There's a whole story when it comes to how I grew up. Which is complicated.
None
but
of my business.
I like for the most part, like I didn't want to be like certain people, and
Good for you.
at a certain point in time, I was just like, there's really no point for me to now. That actually makes me a lot worse than some people because I am the biggest instigator. If you were, because I'm one of those guys.
I'll make you do it, but I won't do it myself.
I think one of my intros to becoming a host of this, I told you, hey, I'm very big on believing I'll help your dreams come true. Unfortunately, that came from when back in the day, whenever someone told me, yeah, we should do this. And I'm like, that's a brilliant idea. There's a Marine right now.
Go ahead.
Who has a tattoo of a Kodiak bear fighting a hammerhead shark, like the tiger and dragon thing.
Because
he was very drunk and he was like, that would be a great tattoo. And you know what I said? I was like, it is a great tattoo idea.
I bet you wouldn't do it.
I bet I just said, like, I know a tattoo shop that's open right now. We got that tattoo.
So you got one too?
No, I just watched him do it and I laughed the whole time.
So we didn't get one.
Collectively went to the shop.
He did. He got one and you just watched and went, sucker.
It's like, so why would you let me do that? You said you wanted to. That's my thing, right? Nowadays, I try to use that.
If you say you want to, I'm just going to facilitate.
Nowadays, I'm the side quest friend that will help out. Now, what is this drink that I've heard so much?
So it's a nasty shot. So normally you put lime on the hand, inside of your hand right there.
Yes.
And you pour salt on it.
Mm-hmm.
You lick that.
Yeah.
Or you bite the lime, lick the salt, and then do a shot of tequila. So Marines, the crazy ones, squirt the lime in their eye, do a line of salt up their nose, and then do tequila shot.
Kill.
It's disgusting. I mean, who would do that? Because imagine being inside your head when the lime in your eyeball is meeting the salt up your nose, and then the.
I feel like you need to do
a whole lot of wrong.
I feel like you have to do like 5 push-ups, or not push-up, pull-ups after that, just because, one for chesty. It's called a chesty, right?
I don't know 100%.
We're gonna. It sounds like
it
sounds like a chesty pee. That sounds like something a Marine would do.
Well, definitely, it's a Marine shot, and the crazy people do it. That's all I know.
Man. There's not a bar on property, right? So that's not happening here.
No, because we don't want the liability insurance.
Fair.
We don't want to have to get our liquor license. And then we don't want to lose our 501c3 because somebody gets stupid.
Exactly. I get that. Stupider. Stupid is as stupid does.
Right.
Best movie. I know it's about an army guy, but I love it.
Great movie.
But when it comes to the lodge, how do people book? Like, how do they book? Does it cost anything for them, or what does it look like?
So it doesn't cost anything for them in the end if they show up. Currently, we have a $50 deposit that we're thinking about maybe bumping up to $100 because we get a lot of no-shows. And those no-shows, because of the nature of a no-show, you don't know they're not going to be here until they don't show up. And we've already purchased groceries. We've already meal planned for a certain number of people. And when they don't show, now we're stuck with these groceries, some of which we actually have to throw away, and that's a waste. And every dollar here is donated. And I take that money very seriously.
Yeah, because it's a gift.
Because gift, yeah. So what they do is they submit their DD-214 on our website, just so that we, in fact, know that they are a combat veteran. And they can redact some of the personal information, social, date of birth, that kind of stuff. And then they make
I have
their
no
deposit.
credit anyway. You can have it.
Yeah,
Okay.
right. And then they make a reservation through our website. No, we will be redoing our website over the winter as far as the reservation process goes.
Yeah.
But they choose a date. And they come with, we've had people who travel and 2 guys come together who served, together, and excuse me, all of a sudden with hiccups. And then they, meet up with somebody who comes here separately and they become really good friends. And it's pretty cool to see.
Yeah.
So that's what they do. They submit a DD-214. They submit their deposit. They make a reservation. When they get here, they get that deposit back. So every penny they spent to get here, except travel, we can't afford, unfortunately, to pay for them to get here.
Yeah.
We pay for the fishing licenses. We pay for the food. We pay for, the electricity for the buildings. We pay for everything except travel to get here. So once that deposit is made, when you get here, you get it back. If you don't get here, we keep it to cover the costs that we incur from you not being here.
Yeah, because you're gonna have to pay that money back somehow. Like getting the groceries aren't cheap. I mean,
For sure.
It's expensive. And you guys, I've been through your kitchen. It is a beautiful.
It's a pretty cool kitchen. It's small.
It's small,
but it's effective. Mm-hmm.
Small compared to some. Like I've been in some pretty big restaurants that have supposedly bigger kitchens, and the kitchen is a small place sometimes.
Yeah.
It's because that's where the food is made. They
Right.
want the what's the word? The marquee is the dining area or whatever it is, right? But the kitchen itself, that's the heart of the place, and that's
Right.
not for the general public.
No.
It only very recently was it where they have that open concept kitchen where you can watch the chef cook
And that's
just
not us.
stare into them. No,
Nobody wants
no,
to.
we're not doing that.
No.
Yeah, that just makes things uncomfortable for
Right.
a lot. But it's a fun thing to watch
Oh, for
sometimes,
sure.
right? That's
For
why
sure.
we go to those hibachi restaurants. I don't think I've been to one like 10 years, but
Right.
they do the whole cooking.
Yeah,
the food
we
in
have one in
front.
Paris, actually.
Yeah.
That we go to sometimes.
It's something that kind of remembers that you did something important. Like it's
Uh-huh.
big. You look at the bigger picture because it gets
I couldn't
real
agree more.
easy when you're out in the world to realize how small you are, and then it's different when you realize how small you are and how much you were a part of something bigger, right? And
For sure.
as long as you realize that your life is important, because it is important. Like I battle that thought every single day, thinking that I'm not that important, right? And that's a lie. I know it's
100% a lie.
I know it's a lie, but it doesn't
But your
mean.
heart and your head, trying to get them to agree on things is freaking impossible.
I always say, like the day I realized I didn't want to die anymore, like was October 16th, 2014 was when my second daughter was born, right? And which is so unfair because my first daughter, she was the one that had me kind of save my life. And then I didn't think I was worth being a dad. I actually tried to die in Afghanistan. That was a really big thing.
Yeah, I know several who did.
It was.
Who tried.
I thought $500,000 would be way more valuable to my wife
Than your person.
than me as a person because I was already a shitty person before I went in, and then after that I was like, there's no way I can raise a child being who I am. Right?
Yeah, look at you.
Well, I'm all the way across the country and haven't been able to speak.
But that
to my
doesn't mean
kids.
you're not raising your child.
In some ways, I feel
Because
like
you're
I'm not.
here.
I am here. I am here. I am in their lives.
She can reach out and she can talk to you.
Yeah, it's true.
If you're gone, she cannot do that.
Yeah, I know. And you know what's, if I would have died in Afghanistan, because I used to say, man, I really should have, right? I really should have. My second daughter and my youngest son would not be here today. And let me, like,
imagine that.
life
As much
without
as I
them.
hate my freaking goddamn fucking Marine Corps son-in-law of mine, I have 2 grandchildren because of him.
And so you have something to thank him for, you know?
Well, I'm not going to go that far. However, I have reason to be glad that he exists.
And that's
I'm not going to thank him for anything ever. How he did go get Alec and bring him home.
Yeah.
And at the time, I thought, you know what? I cannot take these things away from him. He brought my son home, and he's a good dad. He's not a good dad. He did, in fact, bring my son home. So he brought my son home. I can't even say I'm grateful. He's just a monster. He's a monster. Her attorney calls him evil. She's not wrong.
I understand.
That man, tell you what, I hate to see her going through what she's gone through because of him.
Yeah.
However, there are 2 boys that exist because of his DNA.
I get it.
So, I wouldn't trade them for the world. You know what I mean?
Right.
On the other hand, there's nothing I wouldn't give to have a grandchild of, have a child of Alex in the world. So when he died, she was 17. He was 19. I mean, they were babies, right? She ended up coming to live with us. My first thought after Alec died was, man, I wish they'd have had a kid. My immediate thought that followed that one was, thank God they didn't have a kid. Because that would have been so much on her. You know what I mean? To deal with. Being a single mom, being, the widow. That's so much. At 17?
Yeah, not only that, the baby growing
100%.
up, not knowing their dad.
So selfishly, I wish there had been a grandchild. But when I look at it the other way, I'm like, no. That would have been really unfair to her for me to wish that. Not for it to happen, because if it had happened, it would have happened. Nothing I could have done about it. Would have been unselfish of me to ask for that. But also, you're right, it would have been unfair to the child.
I know. And sometimes, like, this past year has been pretty rough for me specifically. And I haven't been as present as a father because I'm trying to avoid so much. And it's not fair to them. This trip I've been on kind of helps me understand that I need to fix that present. Because there's certain things going on with me. I don't know how much. There's no guarantee. There's no guarantee of tomorrow. And certain things have come to light. Then I need to make sure that I'm here more often. Because
there's nothing better than being present.
Exactly.
That is super important to a child
I've
of
never
any
had
age.
money. I've never had
money. Doesn't mean shit.
It doesn't mean shit. It really doesn't. Like, the things my kids will remember are the
in
things
the end,
I
they're not
remember.
going to go, man, I wish he'd left
Me and my
more
dad
money.
had this conversation because, like, some of my best memories with my dad were times when I didn't even realize we were homeless. I didn't realize we
How
were
cool
struggling.
is that? Think about that for a minute.
Don't realize that.
You don't realize you're homeless?
Yeah. I didn't realize it. We were
That's
sleeping
an incredible
couch to
testament
couch.
to your dad.
We didn't understand what was going on. Like, my favorite thing that we would eat were buttered spaghetti noodles with garlic salt on it. Right? That is the cheapest thing you can have. Oh, he was like that. He was like,
very little better
we
than
only
that.
ate that because that's all we had. There was weeks. And
Doesn't matter.
It's so crazy. I talked to my dad, and there's things that he tells me that I have done. And I didn't realize he did the same thing. I don't know if I subconsciously picked it up or not. Like, he went down to like 155, 145 because he wasn't eating for a couple weeks because he knew he didn't have enough food to provide after my mom left. And so after that, it was just...
So what you do is you feed your kid.
You feed your kids, right? And
because those children are counting on you because they can't do it themselves.
And I'll openly admit this, like, a lot of times, like, I won't eat the food in my house because I know it's the only thing that my kids are going to be able to eat. And then I'm going to count on whatever I can find during the day in order to make it work. And,
because that's what you do.
Yeah, that's what you do. And I've done that for, I don't know, last couple years, I think. And it's so crazy because you already know, but I met you this morning, but from our small conversation, I do a lot. I'm out a lot. I do a lot of different things, but
don't shortchange yourself, though. I mean, shortchanging your kids, you already realize in your brain, whether or not you're shortchanging them, in your head, you feel like you are, but don't shortchange you. I mean, that's super important. And I think a lot of people don't realize how important it is not to shortchange yourself.
I have not yet found value in myself. I'll openly admit that.
I hope you remedy that.
I want my kids to be better than me, which every parent does. Every parent does. I don't want them to end up in the same kind of...
How do you define better than you, though?
I want them to be stable. I want them to be structured. I want them to have dreams and go after them. I want them to be
But
happy.
That doesn't make them better than you. Did you not have dreams?
I actually never did. I'm going to be honest. I don't remember the last time I knew what I wanted. I wasn't really...
Yeah.
It's not that I wasn't allowed to have them. It's just I never had the opportunity to want anything.
Right.
And it's not... I think I wanted things, but it's funny. Brenton does this game where it's like, hey, how much do you think the house is, right? This is what it is. He calls it a game, right? Because he's a real estate guy, so he understands how you could do that, right? He was like, I get it almost right every single time. He's like, you do pretty good. I was like, that's because I always know the value of things I can't have. That's generally it. I look at things and I already accept I can't have it, but I already know what it's worth. And
see, for me, I look at something like that and I'm like, I don't want it.
And but at the same
means
time,
nothing to me.
I don't. It's like I have my house. I have a car. I'm probably gonna have to sell when I get home because I can't afford it. Right. Because life is rough, and I had a company,
and I'm gonna have no insurance very soon.
Dude, the insurance thing, wild,
which sucks.
Yeah,
no health insurance, and the older you get, the more you need it.
Yeah.
So now I will have none, and it's nerve-wracking.
If it wasn't for the VA, I wouldn't be able to do anything for myself. But it sucks because it's just one of those things, and you have a place like this, which is great because with this, you give people a place where they can kind of like look at everything collectively. And I think I've been able to do that just being here for the last day.
Good.
Because I'm sat around. You said guys stood out there and went to the woods. I made a cup of coffee at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Isn't that freaking awesome?
After I, did my thing, my normal stuff, and I walked over there, had my cup of coffee, just started walking into the woods. Because 25 acres out there into nothing but what are those, birch? I don't know.
There's a whole lot of different
trees, right? And I'm just walking and walking until the mud started creeping up on my feet. Which
because back here is very muddy. If you go that way towards the back corner, it's not as muddy.
Now I know.
Now you know.
It was fun. I was just walking in there and just enjoying the cold air, drinking coffee, walking through these woods, listening to just these.
Where'd they go?
Trees and all that. Huh?
Where'd they go?
The other people?
I mean,
they're
I know
here.
he was.
Yeah, they're there. They're just blend in because of the light. That's a secret for public speaking.
But I thought Daniel. Oh, is he still looking for a battery pack?
No, he's right there.
Yeah. Oh my God! I didn't even. I
now
we
the
were
thing with
taking a break.
that's a quick thing to understand when it comes to public speaking and stand-up comedy. The brighter the lights, the less you can see people, so you can see whatever you want.
Yeah, I say whatever I want, anyways.
I know. I appreciate that actually. But it's great that there's no. I like how you don't have actual counselors and therapists here, but you have them at the ready if they're needed. So there's like everything is encompassed here because I know that's an intimidating thing. I told you already. Like there was many reasons why I never thought I'd ever walk on this property, but I've been following this ever since you guys started talking about it. I used to be on Facebook before I got kicked off. Long story there, but. I remember the project when it started getting together and the funding started going and all those things. And I remember when I heard about it, there was a lot of reasons why I never thought I would be here. And it had part of the stigma did have to come with the fact that it was a scary thought. What would I walk into? What was I going to go into? Because I already
what's going to be required.
What's going to be required. But at the same time, I didn't feel like I deserved to go here.
It's funny because one of the guys that came last year, he actually, Doc, he was a cook. He came as a guest first when Sue was cooking. Yeah. And then the next group of guys we had, he came as, or it was the women. Yeah. When the ladies were here, he cooked and he said, I didn't want to come as a guest because I didn't want to take the spot of somebody who deserved it.
Exactly.
I said, wait a minute. You're a combat vet. You deserve it. So if everybody thinks that way, we're going to go empty the entire season.
You're right.
Because nobody's going to want to take somebody else's spot. However, there is no such thing as taking somebody else's spot because we want people to be here. Yeah. You know what I mean? So if you think you're taking somebody else's spot, how do I put this delicately? You're not that important. You can't take somebody else's spot because the spot is yours. So don't, and again, I don't want to say this the wrong way. Don't flatter yourself into thinking that you matter more than somebody else by taking their spot. No, you deserve that spot every bit as much, if not maybe more so, than the person who you think spot you're taking. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
I know what you're trying to say. Yeah, it's a weird thing in your head because I remember when I was thinking about it, I was like, I know I'm not infantry. I'm a radio operator. I did all the infantry stuff.
I don't give a shit.
I got blown up a couple times, and a lot of things happened, and yeah, I'm permanently injured for for stuff that happened in combat. Right? I remember I told you about my leg. I remember Zarati coming out to help me out while we're walking through a poppy field. I can't even walk. I can't even use my weapon correctly. I'm holding on to this guy in a combat zone. They had to call up a vehicle we had to walk to, and I couldn't even walk. And I did all the things. We got into firefights. We do all the things. I called up 9 lines. I called down for fire. I did everything that everyone else did. So, in a weird way, in my head, I'm like, I'm still not an 11.
But how does that make you less deserving than somebody else?
It doesn't.
It doesn't.
But it's a weird thing that you tell yourself because you're like, I feel like this is always going to be for somebody who, in a lot of ways, I try to always make other people better than myself. I guess that's why I get told
they're not.
I find reasons for people to be better than me.
I know you do. Because it's easier that way.
It is easier that way because I can't.
You don't want to acknowledge the fact that you deserve the things that you think they deserve and you don't, but you deserve it. So once you convince yourself of that, see, the thing is, if everybody doesn't come here because they're taking somebody else's spot, we have 25 beds going empty.
Yeah.
And so what the hell are we doing here?
And you're such a lovely person too. Like, people should know you. They should know the
story.
No.
People should know each other that come here. People should know themselves.
They should know themselves. And you allow it to be like a home that they're allowed to come to. And it's unfortunate that
we want them to feel welcome, and we want them not to go away hungry.
Definitely not going hungry. She found out I was coming in late, and she was like, "Eat whatever's in the fridge. I don't care. But we are feeding you in the morning. What time are you up?"
Are expecting
like, I get up at like 6. She's like, "We'll go to breakfast. You tell me when." I was like, "I think they're gonna need time."
I'm up at 5, so whenever,
Yeah, and they took us to a really good spot. Yeah, it was good. It's the South Side Cafe.
So it really is very, very true, and I've said it a million times, and so much what I've said a million times because it's my reason for being here is that if Alec had come home, I wish somebody would have done this for him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So what I can do for the sons and daughters of other mothers is nothing less than I would have done for my own son if he were here. And nothing less than I wish somebody would have done for him if he came home.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So honestly, God knows Alec had 100,000 Marine Corps brothers, which means I have that many sons, right? And daughters. So I have got a job ahead of me, making sure all of you guys are cared for and making sure that you value yourselves and each other and that you're here for each other and that you don't wait 50 years to start a reunion.
Yeah.
Because you need to get together with each other way before that.
It took me, I think, 10 years. Maybe, it took me about 7 to 8 years.
So have you been to any of the reunions at Pendleton?
Oh, yeah. And I have.
So I have not. And very intentionally, I have not.
I understand. I have my coin from it.
Nice.
I carry it around, especially on this trip specifically.
That's nice. Yeah.
It's something I always like.
That's cool.
It has all those things, but I know.
So the consummate professionals, huh? Not Get Some.
Get Some came later. Consummate Professionals were the first one. Then they realized we're really good at what we're doing. So Get Some, right?
Right.
It's actually funny because knowing the history of 3rd Battalion, 5th Marines, like you get kind of a fat head from it a little bit.
So the the streamers, the battle streamers, have you seen those in person, like in one place at one time that 3-5 has been involved in? Holy shit.
Name any major battle that we haven't gone there and made some kind of name.
So the Vietnam 3-5 reunion we go to, they have the battle streamers in one guidon. It's insane to look at those in one place on one pole. It's insane. It's very, very
humbling.
Yeah.
It's humbling to realize. And inspiring. And like when I signed up for 3-5, I didn't realize how important 3-5 was. Like to overall Marine Corps history, right? Like everyone knows the flag gets raised on Iwo Jima, but no one really realized that's Kilo Company.
Who did? Yeah.
Of
Kilo.
3rd Battalion, 5th Marines. That's like.
Do you know Fred Smith was Kilo Company 3-5, the founder of FedEx?
Really?
He was so much Kilo 3-5 that my grandfather's name was Fred Smith. So same name. My son was Kilo Company. Yes, they were both 3-5. He was Vietnam. Alec was Afghanistan. So the 3-5 guys who meet in Kentucky every year, He actually came to one a couple of years ago. I sat right behind him at the ending ceremony thing that they have, and he did make a donation to the lodge and then sent me some of his personal writings, which was pretty cool. He just died a few months ago. But yeah, out of Memphis, he founded FedEx. He was the head dude for FedEx. He was a 3.5 kilo Marine. Fred Smith.
Hell yeah. Mm-hmm. He was a sledgehammer.
Yeah, neat guy. He was a neat guy. But honestly, I mean, I don't know. Those of you who came home owe it to those of you who didn't to take care of yourselves.
Ow, that hurts. I have not been taking care of myself.
Because they can't, you have to. You know, so Alec's best friend, he had a hard time seeing us for a couple of years after. He brought Battlefield Cross that he made in Afghanistan. He told TSA, he goes, I'm taking that home. She goes, no, sir, you can't, because it was actually from the branches of the tree that he and Alec used to sit under in Afghanistan. And he said, no, it's like live, whatever. And he goes, you take that from me, I'll kill you. And she goes, no, sir, you can't. He goes, you take that from me, I'll kill you. And so they called one of the COs over, and he goes, you take that from him, he'll kill you. And he got to bring it home. He bought a seat on an airplane from California to Milwaukee, Wisconsin, where Alec's fiance and I picked him up. Oh my God. Seeing him was so rough after Alec died because of how much he meant to Alec. But he brought that home, and that is one of my prized possessions. But I'll tell you what, he had a hard time seeing us for a long time. Because he goes, you know, we promised each other we'd bring each other home. I said, here's the thing about those kind of promises. You had no right to promise each other that, because that wasn't in your control. So you need to absolve yourself of that responsibility, because you couldn't make sure Alec got home any safer than he could make sure you got home. It's not okay. He became a helicopter pilot because of Alec. Because Alec was so psycho about wanting to be on an helicopter. When we went out there, when I first for sure decided we were going to do this, we were at dinner and they were telling me about Alec being in a helicopter. They said, Ma, he got up in this helicopter. He was like a little bitch. He was screaming. His top half of his body was hanging out of this chopper, and they were holding him by the pants to make sure he didn't fall out. He was having so much fun. And that's why Colt became a helicopter pilot, because Alec couldn't. And he goes, you know, I decided I needed to be the best me that I could be, because he can't be him at all. So that's all I can ask, is that you honor them by being the best you can be, because they can't. So I think not only do you let yourself down, but you let them down if you're not taking care of you and being the best person you can be. Just living your life to the best. That's all you can do. You know, I think they see us. I mean, I don't know how much whole religious thing and the whole heaven thing and all that, but I do believe that my son and my dad are watching me. And whenever I do something stupid, they're like, oh my God, look at her. What a fucking idiot. And they're laughing at me because I make some really stupid mistakes. And when I do something really stupid, okay, guys, I get it. Ha, ha, ha. Very funny. So I think sometimes he's watching, and I don't want to let him down. I don't want to disappoint him.
It is it's kind of nice to have that, like, understand, like, you know, I'm not going to do that. And because I think after my last, one of my friends in Vegas, he killed himself. And he spent the day with me the day before he did it, the day he did it, right? And he came back from a cruise, and he was hanging out with me. He wasn't a Marine, but, like, we worked at the counterterrorism school together, and he just went on a dream cruise with the woman he was going to get married to. He just sold his truck that he's had since he was in as an Army Ranger.
That sounds like a red flag.
It was a lot of red flags. And man, he used to text me all the time just to, like, thank me for a lot of things, which I can't put. I really get annoyed when people text me for thank yous. I'm like, I do nuts things. There's no reason for you to be feeling any type of inspired way on anything I'm doing, because I'm probably the one getting in trouble. I don't tell people
because
that.
people mean it.
Yeah. I know they mean it, and it's just confusing to me sometimes.
Yeah.
I won't say anything because that's their joint.
That's not why you do it, for sure.
And he used to do things like that. Like, I remember he told me I was the reason he was able to not be angry with God anymore.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
That was one of the things, right? Because he was really angry. He lost both of his twins the same day.
God.
Right? SIDS. And
SIDS both the same day? Holy shit.
yeah, so when that happened, yeah, it really broke. It ended his marriage years before I knew him, right? Obviously, right? And that difficulty.
Most of the Gold Star parents I know are divorced.
Yeah, and the difficulty with that, it's it compounded, caused a lot of internal anger and a lot of things. But it's something that I did helped him find it, and I hate that he even says it because that just means you were on that journey. I just kind of like I was walking with you for a minute, in my opinion, but. Next day, one of my mentors calls me up. And he was like, "Hey, what are you doing right now?" I was like, "I'm doing some dishes." I remember I was doing dishes. He's like, "I need you to go somewhere and go sit down real quick," which I already knew that was bad. And I was like,
"Of course."
On my way, sat down and I went to my room upstairs, and he told me straight up, just like, "Hey," I won't say his name. He's like, "Hey, so and so killed himself last night." And I was like, "He just fucking did not," because he was here, and I didn't believe him, right? And it took me a while to kind of process that, and that's actually how I started going in the tunnels underground in Las Vegas. This is how I started going to MVP, like emerging vets and players, because I needed something to kind of make sense of it. Because I realized I ignored every red flag that I knew. I knew all the red flags, right? I knew them all, and I ignored them because. I was busy because I didn't think it would be him.
You have other things to do.
I have things going on and all that.
Other things
right?
on your mind.
Like, what kind of shitty human being am I that I just didn't, right? And
No, but the interesting thing that we have found out to be true about a lot of veterans is that when they take their lives, there's very few things that let you know in advance. They just do it.
And that's pretty much what
they don't plan it and plan it and plan it and plan it and plan it. They just, that's it, I'm done. They do it. So a lot of the times people are like, why didn't I see it coming? Well, because they don't want you to see it coming, because they didn't necessarily plan it, because they just went, that's it, I'm out.
Yeah.
And it's just a really quick spur of the moment thing that they act on rather than planning it and, to them, dragging everybody down with them. They don't want to drag everybody down with them, so they just do it.
I know.
Thinking that they're going to let you off easy. Well, okay, no, thanks, asshole. No, you didn't let me off easy.
No, I have to live with this.
You have to live with that the rest of your life. And they don't think about that.
It's hard to think about.
That call of
the void, that
it's a horribly selfish thing to do.
It's so crazy,
but also understandable.
It is understandable. It is a selfish thing to do, and it is understandable because I can tell you, I'm on that edge all the time. I'm just like, it's right there. Like I was watching the video showed me earlier. He said it perfectly. It's like, it's crazy.
Standing on the edge of the abyss.
Standing on the edge of the abyss.
How when he said
realizing one step isn't so bad.
Right.
It isn't so bad.
Right. And when he talked about dropping the burger into the coals and that smell, it's like, man, isn't that crazy?
It is crazy because that's a perfect metaphor for it. And
that's why we love him so much, because he really puts things into words that a lot of people can't. You know what I mean? And he makes you kind of understand what he's saying. You know what I mean? And those who get it are like, dude, I couldn't have said it better. And those who don't get it are like, holy shit.
That's heavy.
That's really heavy. Yeah.
Well, with that, how could people find you? What could they do? What could they do to find this, and how could they help?
Well, they can help by donating money. People like to donate things, which is always appreciated. However, we don't need things anymore. We're set on things.
Oh my gosh, you should see what they have. She wasn't joking when she said axe throwing, kayaking, horseshoes, cornhole, which, by the way, Military Mondays at Hammered Harry's. I host that every Monday. Not recently because I'm traveling, but it's
we have bedding, we have insurance, furniture, we have all the kitchen stuff. Their
kitchen is so impressive. Like, I am going to cook here,
and we don't have storage. So donating things, though we are grateful and appreciative. We don't need things. We need to build this gathering space where people can get together and just kind of hang out, a big group of folks at one time. We need to build that. And so we need money to build that.
Yes.
We need money to host our veterans, because let's face it, we've got insurance, we've got utilities, we've got 7 buildings we have to maintain. You know what I mean? So if we have 25 people and everybody's running their PTACs, the air conditioning units at full volume, and I have to tell you, no matter how many times you tell them, turn off the freaking PTACs when you go out on the lake, they leave their PTACs on.
Of course they do.
So I go through and I turn them off and I yell at them when they get back and they're like, okay, Mom, I'm sorry. It's funny. But honestly, I mean, there are expenses. You know, we have to
Everything
pay
is
our
expensive.
insurance. We have to pay our taxes. We have to pay
Ugh,
groceries
we shouldn't
for
have to pay
everybody.
taxes.
You know, we're working on coming up with a per person cost. And we're getting close to that. We had to have some data to go on. You know, we had to have so many guests here to figure out what that is. But donating money on our website is, you know, and on darkhorselodge.org, there is an opportunity to get them.
No. Quick little
He's
bugger.
going. So the donations are greatly appreciated. And it doesn't have to be $1,000. It doesn't have to be $5,000. It can be 10.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you add all those up together, it makes a lot of money.
It does. And then for all the combat veterans out there, are they welcome to come?
100%. All combat veterans. Doesn't matter what branch of service, what war, conflict, men, women, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, they're going to come here. They're going to find a warm bed, hot shower, hot food, and a really beautiful community.
Yeah.
I really love this place, and I'm so happy I'm here. Like,
it's
I'm
quiet
glad.
And just listen.
It's quiet, but it's not that quiet that makes you scared. If you know what I mean, you know what I mean, right? It's a quiet where you feel safe, which is one of the hardest things to find.
You know, it's funny because when we first built this, I wasn't going to put a window in my office up right outside of the kitchen. And my husband said, he goes, listen, you have worked your ass off for this place. You are going to want to open this window and hear the conversation and hear the laughter. And he's not wrong. When I open that window and I hear people walking back and forth between the showers and the dining hall and the cabins and just walking, to hear the laughter and the conversation, it's everything. It's everything. And we've had some breakthroughs. We've had some people who had breakdowns. But every single time they said, I really needed that. I was scared to come here. A lot of people are scared to come here. And we want people to know that it's not a scary place, that it's a quiet place, and that the experience here is your own, but you're going to meet some like-minded people who've been where you've been, who've walked in your shoes. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, yeah, there's camaraderie that you'll only find with other combat veterans, I think, because nobody else gets it the way you do.
Yeah. You'd be surprised how many times I talk to somebody, you're like, why can't you just get over it?
Oh, that's a really horrible thing to say. Get over it.
It's fine. I mean, I've heard some pretty intense
It's fine,
things.
but it's also kind of not fine to say that you should get over something. Because everybody's experience is their own. And what I think maybe you should get over is not my place to say. And it's not your place to say what I should get. I'm going to be saying, you know what, you lost your son, get over it. You have another kid.
I'll hit him for
I've
you.
had people say that. You have another kid. Oh, okay. So one is expendable. Yeah. And I know they don't mean that. And I know people really mean well. They don't know what to say, so they say the wrong thing. And so I try to give them grace and say it's okay because they know not what they do or what they say. That's what it is.
You know, I'm actually reading the book of Job right now. And one of my favorite things about that one is the best things his friends did was the 3 weeks that they just were sitting there and shut the fuck up. Because the best thing they could do is just be with their friend while he's crying instead of opening their mouths and showing their ass. With the best intentions.
For sure.
And that's it. It's nothing against anyone. I know their heart's in the right place, but sometimes the best thing you could do is just say, hey, you need something to eat? I got you. Yeah. You need a ride somewhere? I'm here. Hey, you mind if I crash on your couch? Don't feel like going home myself.
For sure.
And sometimes that's the best thing you can do.
And we don't have an enormous community of donors. But the donors we have, man, they're mighty. They're powerful.
You had a guy who was flying across Tennessee on a freaking.
So, like my husband says, he's sitting in a lawn chair with a fan strapped to his ass. Yeah. From far west Tennessee to far east Tennessee. Those of you who know your geography, I am not one. First of all, Tennessee's really freaking wide. Yeah. It's not tall, but it's wide. He was flying a paramotor from west Tennessee to east Tennessee. I mean, he's crazy, but he's a Marine.
Dedication. Oh, so that makes sense. And that's dedication. That's the kind of people that support this and come here. So I'm really glad that you have this, and I'm really glad that you decided to do this.
And I'm really glad you're here.
I'm glad I'm here. Yeah, I'm going to be honest. This podcast was probably the only reason I was going to be able to come on to this property emotionally, but
Really?
Now that I'm here, I'm going to be coming back.
And I hope you come back as a guest.
Oh,
and I
I
hope
am.
you let us feed you and, you know, give you a place to sleep and take you out on the lake and just give you, I mean, I'll tell you what, it's so peaceful out there on the lake. It
Yeah.
really is beautiful. And our marina is only 7 miles from here.
We're doing it.
Yeah.
All right. With that, that's going to be the whole episode. I appreciate your time.
Sounds great.
Thank you so much.
I'm sorry for taking up so much of it.
Oh, you're fine. We got more to do.
Because I'm a
All right. Thank you guys for watching.
Thank you.
Cut. All right. Ramble a bit, but it was good stuff.